Welcome to Project Pack number 18, day 3. My name is Rick.
Hi, I'm Maria, and I have the pleasure to introduce you to some ideas of an artist called Horace Hofnagel, who was one of my favorite artists and he inspired a lot of my work. And we're going to do a little bit of a trick that he did in some of his illustrations that I just think is just so wonderful, and it works really, really well with this paper. So we're going to use most of the tools except not the jelly roll on this particular piece. So grab all your other ones, and the O1 black.
And if you're just watching this first, we have a whole intro video explaining the materials in this lovely translucent paper. I love that. That's a great...
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. And so please check that out and get ready to have a blast.
So appreciate this paper. How could we keep coming up with new and exciting ideas, huh? So we're going to start with our pencil, and we're going to draw two lines. Our string, so to speak, in pencil is going to be these two lines, and they're sort of just a little bit curved. You can see like almost slightly little smiles that imitate
each other.
Echo, yep. So you can see about how long it is.
It's about 1 Zentan long.
Zentan, yep.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a tangle called Vertigo, which is one of our really old tangles. And we're going to put the stem of our Vertigo out there through and behind these two pencil lines,
So
like it's going behind.
it's like a hollowbar.
Right.
Drawing behind.
Taking your time.
Love that little detail
The
there.
little detail, I can't help
It's like
myself. It's my pen that just does it all automatically. And we're going to do our little leaves or needles in the traditional way, how we first taught it. And I do the internal spine and then the two external spines afterwards. And so we... Okay.
Yeah. No, you can see it's like a takeoff and land there
Yeah.
at the ends.
So this particular one that I just drew is going to go over that pencil line, and it probably one of the only ones that goes over that, just so that we can have some dimension and ideas of, things going places where you didn't think it could go. So we're going to do our needles all in equal ways along one side of the stem.
But they're all going sort of in the same direction.
Right. So I'm going to turn my tile, and we'll start going in the other direction. You can see that first line that I do is more whimsical than detailed. But then you go and you aura that line very carefully. So now we're going behind that original pencil line, so you can see it's going underneath that cut line, or whatever we want to call it. That first line adds a little bit of animation and life.
Nice.
And you it probably would do you a service to watch this and then go back and follow it after.
And none of these are that close, right?
Right. So the next set of these leaves or needles are going to go right above the first set. You see the little whimsical thing there? And then they're going to go behind in a hollow ball fashion. So carefully going behind and drawing that beautiful shape needle. It's like rosemary. How beautiful. Nature is just amazing, right? So pretend we're going the same way here. And it's not exactly the same direction, but almost the same direction.
So this approach of doing it, okay, we're going to put these needles in a spaced way, going in sort of the same direction, and then turn it and do it in a slightly different direction and just keep doing it over and over and over. Even though that's a very structured way of approaching it, there'll be this delightful, chaotic result, very natural looking result.
And nature does that. It is pretty chaotic, but it actually starts in a pattern. And most leaves grow in a pattern on a stem, right? So this is sort of in recognition of that way that nature grows. Now, ordinarily, you wouldn't think that this is a pattern, but it's a tangle. It's drawing and repeating lines, and repeating sections and shapes, and that's a tangle. That's how it differs from a pattern.
Right, so this is a really good example of tangling versus drawing. So we're not like drawing a leaf. We're just putting in these shapes in a hollow bar fashion in a particular sequence. Almost surprising ourselves as we go along.
I know, isn't that lovely? I love that. As I watch myself drawing, sometimes I just can't get over that. It's actually coming out of my pen. And I'm sure you guys all feel the same way, that here's this simplicity that develops into these beautiful, beautiful drawings. And unexpected drawings.
So even now you can sort of see the original structure, but we're just going to keep, or Maria's just going to keep doing this in another direction.
So right above that last one, we're going to go right inside there and do another series of leaves and needles. I say needles because it's almost like a pine, huh?
Right.
That family.
Like a fir, a pine, rosemary. Like we'd often do this and have a class and use a rosemary sprig as an inspiration. But oops.
Did you see that? I can't help it sometimes. It's just when I think about all the beautiful leaves I see and the little details that come out, how easy it is to do that and make it look so real.
And to think of this as taking inspiration as opposed to duplicating. So you find something in nature, or you find something in architecture, or you find something in your imagination, and then use that as an inspired structure to see where you can where it takes you, perhaps. And just getting a rhythm, always drawing behind. You can always add another one.
I know, isn't that fun?
Often in hollowbar, you'll think you're done, and it's like, oh, just one more. Oh, just one more.
One more. I can fit 10 in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Name that hollowbar and.
And you can make these leaves do whatever you want. You can bend them, whatever you think. And everybody's is going to be a little bit different because it grows a little differently. It's not going to look exactly like mine because it can't. It's just too much going on.
I like to say, even if you go out and here in New England in the fall, there's uncountable leaves on the ground. And if you were to look, you can never find two that look exactly the same, even from the same tree. So take inspiration from what Maria's showing, not with the idea that, okay, oh, my third spine or needle should have gone over the fourth one instead of the fifth one. We're just looking to get inspired in this particular technique.
Oh, did you see that?
Yeah. That's because you watched my hollowbar one.
That's exactly right. I just watched your hollowbar one, and I was inspired by the twisty hollowbar.
So the more you do it, you can see, oh, I can put one in here, I can put one in there. And it takes a little more care because now you've got so many more leaves to go under.
Mm-hmm. But that's fun, right? Because we
Absolutely.
know it. We can see them. If somebody else was watching that didn't know how to tangle, they probably would say, well, how do you know to do that? How do you know where to put the next line? How pretty, right?
Right?
So now we're going to go over those pencil lines. I'm going to go over it with it just so you can see what I'm doing. Now watch carefully. I'm going to go behind that leaf that's stuck out. See it? So you can see that it's going to mimic like a cut in the paper. And this sprig of rosemary was sent underneath there.
Right?
So watch this now. If you make it look like the paper is actually cut and it goes behind there, there's an opening.
And this is on like the interior of the curve one.
Right.
Such a cool effect. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now, we've got this incredible paper, and what we can do with this paper is turn it over.
Okay, so now here the magic starts. Pretend that sprig of rosemary is actually going through the paper. What would it look like on the other side? Okay, so we're going to draw the other side of this situation. And this is what Horace Hofnagel was so good at. He would do these on pages, vellum pages, which really this paper mimics vellum from the Middle Ages, what they used to draw on. So I'm going to draw the stem, make it kind of curvy. Yeah. So look at that. We're going to have the stem coming out the other side.
And when you would see Hofnagel's work in the book, you had that idea of the translucency of the vellum, which is like goat skin or sheepskin.
So you can see where that one leaf was going under the cut, and we continued it. And here's another one right here. If you follow the concept.
Right. And so now, just do similar to what we did on the other side, or what Maria did on the other side.
Right.
Is build up those needles. An easy gap. Then do them on the other side. Just taking your time.
You can do this.
Right?
You can do this.
And just totally enjoy the process, because as you're doing it back and forth, okay,
see?
So, right? You might decide, oh, I want that to come out the other side. So
Yeah.
see what she's doing there? So feel free to go back and forth. And just as you're holding it, just remember to make sure that even with the micron, the ink needs a little bit more time to dry than it does on the more absorbent paper. And now we're just going to continue on and add up.
I would suggest that when you do this particular tile, do it a few times over and over so you can really get the technique embedded in your mind on how this works. And you're going to be able to do it with other tangles. Just do it a few times over and over, and each time you'll get it. Or watch the video over and over. I like to watch it.
Right? We're supposed to be talking.
Yeah,
and
I know.
We're both looking at
we're
this
both
screen
watching
and just
it.
like
It's
having a good time.
Mesmerizing, right?
And also, as you're doing this, hold off on your evaluation of it midway, because so many of these of this particular tangle and other tangles in general are ones that it's like a magic trick that reveals itself when it's done. And if you like partway across your journey with it, you start to evaluate it, well, you're not really you want to just focus on each stroke and just make each stroke so beautiful and so wonderful, and really focus on that one stroke at a time. And then, without your even being aware of it, this beautiful composition unfolds. So it's like that attention to the little things and really caring about each stroke, because every Zentangle tile is made up of individual strokes. Oh, that's so cool. Right? Just when you think you're done, Maria will find another way to put another one in there.
So right here, what I'm doing is I'm going and adding like a little additional piece to the stem.
So now she's reinforcing that cut paper on the back.
I will give you the name of this artist so you can look up his work and see why I was so enamored.
Yeah, I think we'll show you the book in another video, actually.
Yeah.
So this is coming together.
Mm-hmm. Ah, look at
right?
that.
Isn't that fun?
Look at that. It's magic.
And a lot of these little details you don't really notice, but it contributes to the whole composition in a beautiful way.
Right. So now shading this is very specific. We're going to watch this carefully. We're going to draw a pencil line going from one of those, the tip of one to the next. And this sounds so counterintuitive. We're going to put a little bit of graphite down, and with our tortillon, we're going to just give it a little shade so that it makes it look like that paper is coming up off. It's bent and folded there.
Right.
It's very subtle. You don't have to be too dark. You can see it already lifting,
Yeah.
right?
It's like curving up.
Yeah. How cool is that?
Right?
Oh my gosh.
Very simple.
Right.
And then what you did on one side.
Yeah, I'm going to do it lighter on the other side, but it doesn't have to be very dark, just to give it that feeling of it. Right. You can see that I go to the other side of where the... See that? How fun.
Right? It doesn't take much at all.
Oh, I know. So we want to sort of give some shades to where it goes under and inside to the other, it goes to the other side, right? Things that you probably wouldn't even notice, but you notice I didn't do it on that little leaf that's sticking out. I kind of like that leaf. That's what I feel like. That's me sticking out. Right?
And you'll notice on that other side, she didn't even add any graphite. She from the pencil, just used the graphite that was residual on the tortillon.
So again, we're going to go where it goes in. A little bit on the other side, a little bit.
Just a hint. You don't often need that. What I found is I need less than I thought I did, and I can always add more.
You can always go back, yeah.
Right. A little bit of shading on the stem there.
How cool. Fun, fun, fun.
Maria likes to go back and just what we end up calling adding love to it. It's just always like one little touch more. Sweet. So since we have these colored chalk pencils, let's...
I had an orange one in my pack, so I thought instead of doing green, we would do something totally Zentangle-y, unexpected. Just add a little color. Doesn't have to be to every one. You can see I'm shading with my black. I told you I'd do that. You can see how it dulls down the pureness of the color. See,
it's not monotone. Yeah.
Right. I kind of go in that direction.
And then on both sides.
But, you're talking to somebody who paints with dirty water. So.
Right.
Awesome.
Very cool. And like we said, we can always add more graphite, doing a little drop shadow here.
Ah.
Right?
That was so much fun for me.
And you can always go back in and touch up a few things. And, you can just watch it, and then you don't have to decide what you're going to do right away. You might just decide to look at it and hold it, turn it this way and that, and then add your stroke. So your chop is pretty good on both sides because it's easily recognized as an M. Beautiful.
Well, that was fun.
That was wonderful.
Thank you all for joining us.
So please have a wonderful time with this. I think you have a couple more that you wanted to show.
I did so many, and I wanted to, isn't that, so that first line that I put down, I made it bolder in the middle, just for something different. I had never done this before, but I thought it looked like a feather.
And then whimsical at the end.
Oh my gosh, how pretty. So what I did with this one was totally different. I just went over to the other side and copied it through the paper so that when it's almost, you're looking at both sides of it.
And this is another one.
And another one's got a little green in it.
So hopefully these will, and a little white.
Yeah, I put a little white on that stem.
So hopefully this will give some good inspiration, and we are so looking forward to seeing what you create with it. And we will see you back very soon for day 5. No, for day 4.
See you later.
Bye now.
Bye.